Alright guys, welcome back to another TA Tech News Weekly. I'm your host, TA Tech. Didn't really plan on making any content, but I kind of wanted to close out the season with a couple of new stuff. Open back up in about a month or so, maybe even when iOS 19 rolls out. So to end, I want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching these episodes. Continue to do so and comment, like, and of course, if you guys aren't already, subscribe to the channel for my regular videos and these podcasts. I do want to continue this on the weekends. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure to let me know. And if you want a fifth season, let me know in the comments. So, without further ado, we're going to be talking about the last of iOS 18, iPhone 17 Pro, and visual intelligence. So, it seems that iOS 18.4, you now get Apple Intelligence, or visual intelligence, I should say, on the iPhone 15 Pros, which I think is pretty interesting. I'll have a video, hopefully, by the time you're watching this, it's already out. Apple has released new firmware for AirPods Max with lossless audio support. So, for those of you guys who have AirPods Max, you guys have that now. Apple also seeds first betas of iOS 17. Oh my god, 18. Why am I saying that? Mac OS 15.5. So, with the new tariffs going into effect, Apple can reduce impact of this in a couple of ways. One being Apple can boost iPhone production in India. Apple could raise prices on the Pro models. So, US market close said high-end iPhones account for 65 to 70% of new model sales, and believes high-end consumers are relatively more accepting of price increases. So the Pro and Pro Max models could see price increases if absolutely necessary. Apple could increase carrier subsidies for iPhones. Apple could reduce trade-in values to partially offset the cost of tariffs. Apple could put even greater pressure on its suppliers to cut costs. The new 48 megapixel telephoto lens may change how zoom works. Apple is reportedly planning a major upgrade to the telephoto camera in the iPhone 17 Pro, and while it may seem like a step back on paper, the change could actually improve real world usability if one leaker's claims are anything to go by. So, according to Majin Buu, the 17 Pro will feature a new telephoto lens with a 48 megapixel sensor, up from the 12 megapixel sensor found in the 16 Pro and Pro Max. This rumor isn't new. In fact, it's been repeatedly claimed by several other sources. However, Boo goes further in claiming that the new lens will offer a 3.5 optical zoom, 85 millimeter equivalent, instead of a 5 times zoom, which is a 120 millimeter equivalent. Generally better suited for portraits and everyday photography, since it allows users to frame shots without having to move as far away from the subject. However, the big shift allegedly comes from the new 48 megapixel sensor, in that the extra resolution allows for digital cropping to simulate longer focal lengths, offering less quality loss than normal digital zoom. So there's an Apple Store that was going to be created in Australia that never actually happened. According to this article, a lot of the local residents were upset about Apple's plan to demolish one of the buildings over there. And in order to make room for the new store, the local heritage authority ultimately decided that the building could not be torn down due to cultural significance. 6 years later, the graphic designer has a envisioned what the Apple Store, Apple Federation Square could have looked like, which looked pretty cool if I don't say so myself. I would love to see something like this here um, in United States. Apple's working on this new Apple Watch that basically turns the Apple Watch into an AI device with cameras. I've said this a lot of times. I think having an Apple I've said this a lot of times. I think that um, having a camera on the watch is good and bad. First off, I think it's cool if you want to have a camera to take pictures in places that you generally wouldn't be able to. Um, and not only that, but for AI and different applications, I guess definitely not for FaceTime because I cannot imagine myself doing a FaceTime call through the watch. I mean, I think that's a little bit weird. Um, so I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I thought that was pretty cool. Um, Also, Apple shuffles AI executive ranks in bid to turn around Siri. We all know that, um, Siri definitely needs an upgrade. So, um, a couple people are moving around and working on that. Hopefully, in iOS 19, we get a better Siri as we've been anticipating. Who knows what's going to happen? But at least they're working on something. Apple's also planning for the AirPods, a feature that can live translate conversations. I've seen a lot of earbuds on like TikTok and stuff that can actually do translation. And I think that honestly, that would be really, really cool if there was a feature or an app that allowed you to do that, to make the AirPods translate for you. Um, Also, and I've said this multiple times before, AirPods need an app to better get the information from the AirPods, not for like EQ and stuff, like I've said in the past, but to see about the Bluetooth connection, um, and the battery life and stuff like that. I mean, it's fairly easy to look at now, but I just think that it would be fuck off. I just think overall it would be good to have something to have all the information in one spot. Um and yeah. So that's really about it that I've had for today. I mean, I know this is a short podcast episode. Like I said, I want to get something out there. I am working on a couple different projects for other channels and stuff. Um, and I didn't get anybody to fill in for the week, so I wanted to do this by myself. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about all these in the comment section down below. If you guys want more information on these, I'll if you guys want more information on these, of course, I will leave links down in the description down below for you guys. And with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.